Greenville. It says the Greenville gym is linked to measles case as outbreak spread in South Carolina.
That's what's spreading
it.
I believe we're up and running again. I don't
know. Hello?
Hello, mic check.
There was one. It looks like we might get some northern lights this week, they're predicting. Well, several coronal mass ejections are racing towards Earth. Several.
Sherry says we're 5 by 5.
Well, thank you, Sherry. Scientists begin a $14.2 million project to decode the body's hidden sixth sense.
Right.
Yeah. So what is this sixth sense? They got me. They piqued my interest a little bit. Unravel how the nervous system tracks and regulates the body's internal organs. Oh my goodness. Well, $14.2 million, I guess. It's better than studying the reproductive issues of cockroaches on cocaine. At least we're back to studying the human body again. Yeah, I guess there's all kinds of government employees being let go right now. And not like you're laid off till the government gets turned back on, but like let go. And I know I get it, it sucks. People's jobs and stuff like that, but government was bloated. It really kind of needed a clean out. That's the government's job is not to, make jobs for the citizens. That's one of the things that happens when you have a government, because you need people to do certain things, file the papers and this and that and all that kind of good stuff. But that's not the function of the government. That's not its main goal, is to provide jobs for citizens. That's what businesses are for. And yeah, I'd like to see supposed to see overtime on tips and all that kind of stuff. Have you noticed anything on your paycheck, Josh?
Not that I've noticed.
No.
Yeah, no, but that ain't saying much. Tips and overtime ain't likely to make a whole lot of appearances on my paycheck.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the government was bloated. Way too many people working in government. They got rid of 50,000 IRS workers. But didn't they just hire like 75,000 extra ones under Joe Biden? Something crazy like that.
Seems like I heard something like that.
Yeah, it just seems that the government was just kind of making jobs for people that really weren't all that needed or required. Especially now with AI replacing all kinds of people's jobs.
Well, that sounds right. The more government employees you get, the more people you get that are going to vote for more government, or at least continued government. Nobody wants to give up their jobs and their benefits. So they'll just keep voting for the fuckers that give it. Good morning, Andrew.
I have not been on the internet too often lately, but in regards to this same subject, I have a question for everyone because a lot of people are talking about cryptocurrency, fiat currency, and gold, silver, blah, 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 blah. What happens if the whole world goes to shit? Like The Walking Dead. What is actually worth more than anything else?
Clean water.
And alcohol.
Alcohol. That's maybe, but that's going to be probably
Antibiotic.
I don't know.
Beans, bullets, and Band-Aids. That's the military supply chain. That's what they say it is. And it's a very abstract, vague way to explain food, security, and medicine.
Yeah. Things you'll need. Yeah, I remember like when 2008 was happening. I was like, man, I need to know a little bit more about plants and, just a little bit more knowledge. Because I started trying to make a bug out bag and to carry around everything you might possibly need in that situation. It's just a lot easier to have the knowledge in your head, to make it yourself than to go out and buy it and try to carry it around with you on your back while trying to trek 10 miles that day. And yeah, I got all kinds of books
I think less than 1% of the human population would actually be ready for something like that because they live in their high-rise, skyscraper, penthouses and things like that. And then they will basically just perish versus the people that are actually ready and willing to go through that kind of situation. And I know that it is a very unfortunate situation that other people in the past have had to go through. This is not a fictional, hypothetical situation. It's happened.
No, just about every time there's a major war or something like that, these situations happen in small pockets all over the place.
Right. Beans, bullets, and Band-Aids.
It gets real ugly when you have to worry about your neighbor more than the invading army. Once the food runs out at the grocery stores and stuff like that, people start doing what they need to do to survive. And it can get crazy. They say the best thing you can do is find some place away from, any major city or anything like that, kind of isolated by yourself, and have enough to last at least 21 days out there. without going back to your house or back into a town or anything like that.
21 days is kind of low in my opinion, but either way.
Oh yeah, no, but that's just gonna up your chances of survival about 90%.
Yeah, gotta have your crossbows, your and your bullets.
By then, people are hoarded up. They've had their little skirmishes and all that kind of stuff, and they've gone and ransacked, houses and all that. After 21 days, you have a much better chance of survival.
Yes, and also
They
when I
talk
say
about make your house look like it's already been ransacked. You have one room in the house that's secure, but the front door is kind of kicked open already, windows broken, all that kind of stuff. They say you do that to your own house, and it stops other people from thinking that there's anybody in there or that there's anything in there. They think it's already been ransacked and ran through.
yeah, if the apocalypse situation happens, that would be a good idea. That's sort of like how a lot of science fiction novels have been written. And if people actually read those, they might look at someone has barbed wire up and has a deer and chickens and goats that are already stuck to the actual barbed wire or razor wire itself. Okay, they might look at that a little bit differently. Especially, well, there's different reasons as to why. But at what point would people actually move forward with this and say, you know what? I'm going to completely board up and just completely suspend myself from the actual people. I've got 5 years worth of food, water, a field.
Yeah, I think once the food isn't at the grocery stores anymore, people start acting different.
You saw what happened in 2020, right? That was like worldwide. People go crazy.
Look what they did when they thought there wasn't going to be toilet paper.
I know, it's like water, go down to a river. Easy. If there is a river.
Yeah, cleaning water is pretty easy. You can distill water, as long as you got a heat source.
So this actually brings up another topic. Well, actually, it's associated. According to space.com, Aurora alert. Several corona mass ejections are racing toward Earth and could spark impressive northern lights this week. Whoa. Just send people into panic.
Mm.
And it says a train of solar storms is barreling toward Earth with 3 coronal mass ejections expected to hit in the coming days. Any potential impact could trigger impressive auroras in northern skies and possibly even at mid latitudes. Multiple CMEs launched from sunspot region AR AR246 AR246, okay, whatever the fuck it is, between October 11th and 13th, and forecast to reach between October 15th and 17th. Oh my gosh, they got the math down on this one. Is that today? All right, I think we're fucked. All right, prepare.
Mm. Mm. So National Geographic confirmed it. It says confirmed by National Geographic. 2 diamonds found hundreds of kilometers underground reveal a secret to the Earth's mantle depth. Okay.
Wait,
We,
National
don't-
Geographic? Are you serious?
Yeah, they confirmed it, so don't worry about it. It's confirmed.
Oh, now I trust them.
Yeah. But tell me, who dug the hole hundreds of kilometers down beneath the surface? Because I know digging holes on the surface isn't all that hard and complicated. Children can do it. I did it when I was a child. I dug some holes as adults. But when you start getting like miles down, it gets a little trickier. To the point to where the Russians spent like a decade trying to get further and got like a few hundred meters maybe over a decade.
Yeah, that's really interesting because I've never seen that. But when I was in Idaho, I saw the copper type of a mine where they're just like boring it out in big, big circles. And it goes down for quite a long range. You guys ever seen that?
Uh-uh.
Did I say? Yeah, it's Idaho. I'm sorry, Utah. Oh shit, it's massive. Look it up. I can't do it right now because I cannot access. This is me off, but I cannot access this on my cell phone at the same time as my computer.
Oh, I get it. So they're not actually right. They're saying that the diamond was made way down there, worked itself up, but the little imperfections inside of diamonds trap gases and stuff like that. And then they can know what's going on way down there in the Earth's mantle from the little imperfections inside of diamonds trapping gases. That's going to tell them. Because no probe
Something
can
like
go
this,
down there.
Andrew.
What was that, Walter?
I asked Andrew if this is what he was talking about. Andrew.
I think so. Yes, I was
Utah?
there in the early 2000s. 2000.
What area do you remember?
What area?
Yeah,
Like-
this is the Bingham Canyon mine, copper mine.
I don't recall the exact point or whatever, but yes, massive. The tires are the size of. I mean, they're 10 feet tall tires. These tractors. And they're basically just, to my knowledge, they're scooping up a whole bunch of earth and then just making a giant reverse, like, I don't know.
Open
This
pit
is-
mining.
Yeah, they're mining for minerals and stuff like that as well, like gold, silver, copper, and the list goes on. And they bring it on back. I just don't see how this is cost efficient. But either way, they're doing it.
They found a new group of phytoplankton the size of, what did it say, 250 million elephants.
What? What the fuck is this? Well, hold on a second now. What is?
Well, come on, everybody should know how big 250 million elephants would be, right?
Yeah, well, no. What is one elephant?
Uh,
I'm sorry, gentlemen. I am a little buzzed and little high. I apologize.
Hmm.
Welcome
You're
to
all
the club.
good.
So,
They use autonomous instruments. The team calculated a biomass of about 314 teragrams, roughly 346 million tons, the equivalent of 250 million elephants. I don't know why they do this kind of stuff.
yeah, the conversion with the metric system is stupid. They just try to confuse people.
No, just the whole elephant thing. Like,
No, taro. Like taro.
yeah, teragrams. But the 250 million elephants, is it code or something? I don't get it. Why they use these comparisons?
It's called
Probably
funding.
exactly
Had
what
to
it
be.
is. Code.
Yeah, they had to give some sort of evidence. Oh, teragram, because their funding was just running out, and it just gets stupid. All right, I'm shutting up.
Wow, so Southern California got hit with thunderstorms. They said they had a severe thunderstorm warning for the first time in 17 years down there. So they really don't get too bad of weather usually, do they, huh?
No, it's usually pretty
17
good
years
from what I remember.
without a severe thunderstorm. That's not bad. Hmm. China is producing the world first quantum radars to try and track stealth jets. That'd be a game changer. I was watching this documentary on medieval history, right, in the wars, and how France was, I think it was for like 400 years, ruled with knights. Knights were like the tanks on the battlefield, pretty much. And it was the U-bow, a bow that could shoot. Well, it's like a 6 foot tall bow made from the yew tree, and it can shoot up to like 250 yards accurately. And they just rained arrows.
That's what I need.
Forget what
I can't shoot a bow for shit. I need a bow that just shoots accurate. That would make warfare so much fucking easier without having to rely on the skill of the archer. Just
Yeah,
need to
they
find
say
an
the
accurate bow is all you need. Sorry, I don't.
archers were so good they could hit a target like 100 yards away with 3 different arrows and have it all the arrows hit right around the same time. So they'd loose one that was like more lobbing, one that was a little less lobbing, and one that was like dead on straight. That's how they would practice. But yeah, they killed like so much French royalty at this one war with these U-bows. It kind of changed warfare after that. He got the idea from the cons, riding on horseback, shooting arrows, allegedly.
I thought for sure Walter was going to go all William Shatner just there. Con!
Right. No, I was busy looking for some pictures of cat armor while you were talking about knives.
Eh.
There's an artist who does it, but I can't find the painting I'm looking for.
So they're sending home out of shape National Guardsmen. They said it was going to start. This is the San Antonio Express News. Standards way heavier for Texas Guard in Chicago as more recalled over fitness. So they had 7 soldiers who did not meet mission requirements were called back home. Yeah, I mean, when you were in the military, you guys, did they ever have to, send anybody home? Or, kick anybody out because of their weight? They couldn't get their weight under control?
So we hit it a little different in the Marine Corps than maybe others. I don't know. I've only ever been in the Marine Corps. And I think, Andrew, you know this because I think you referred to it by its common name. But usually, if you didn't have the physical conditioning that it took to be in a normal platoon with the rest of the people, like you were a little overweight, you couldn't maybe hit the timed run or the pull-ups or the sit-ups or whatever it was, a lot of times you were removed from that platoon so as not to hold everybody back, and so is the fact that you wouldn't get left behind. So in order to maintain the standards, you were usually removed from your normal platoon and put into a physical conditioning platoon, one just for losing weight, getting down to the proper weight, or until you can hit that timed run with the right time, whatever it is. And it was affectionately called the pork chop platoon. So a lot of the people that I was in my platoon were all of weight because they weren't part of the actual pork chop platoon. So, like, I'm sure there were, but they just weren't in my platoon because they usually get pulled out. And if you can't make it in the pork chop platoon is when you usually get kicked out. But that's just a little bit that I can remember from 1996.
So it's not like they don't try and give them a chance and put them into like a special.
So this was recruits. I imagine if you're enlisted or you're commissioned, that either way, there's going to be an option. Like, I'm sure they're going to want you to try to do it. Like, it's the military. There's no excuse. Yeah. Like, if you want to, you will. It's that simple. Unless you've got some weird medical condition or whatever it is. But it's really just sort of that easy. If you wanted to be within the standards and the guidelines, you can be. There's plenty of places to run and weights to lift if you find yourself needing to lose weight or get faster or do whatever it is to do to keep you in the military. They make it real simple. All you got to do is just do it. Just do it.
Just do it. Tropical storm Lorenzo forms in the central tropical Atlantic. Lorenzo's coming.
What if it blew through the llama farm and it just picked up a bunch of llamas?
Lorenzo llamas.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I saw a picture. No, that wasn't him. Never mind. I was gonna say I saw a picture of Lorenzo, but it wasn't who I saw. I saw it was the other young, weirdly named actor from that same time period. Damn it, what was his name?
The guy with the long hair.
TJ Hooker and all.
Oh,
something.
I believe.
I gotta know now. Yeah. TJ Hooker.
You guys been seeing the alien invasion stuff going around?
Nope.
Don't really look at that stuff.
Yeah.
November, I think 23rd. No, maybe November 17th.
Cool.
I don't know.
They RSVP'd?
Countdown.
Nice.
Is this
Yeah, it said like 53 days until alien invasion.
Bye, you.
I thought
They
it got
know
burned
when,
up
but
in the
not who.
sun.
Like, what aliens? Like, if you don't have a name, at least give me like a species. Give me a description. But like, if you've got the date and time, surely they RSVP'd with a name.
Yeah, you know which ones are coming.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about the Andromedans, the Pleiadians, the Greys,
And even that just seems so vague. Like, if you know the date, surely you know the name. I want the name of the aliens. Give me a fucking roster, a list of people coming. Unless that's just not included in all the information you have, which seems pretty motherfucking specific, pardon my French.
Is Chewbacca going to be there? Should I wear a top? I'm just saying.
Will he pull my arms off if I beat him in chess?
So I'll just let the fucking guy win. All right? It's not that big of a deal. I need to know these
You hear that, Andrew? Just let the Wookiee win.
things.
It's not. Okay. It's just on the other side of the sun. I thought Haley said it had hit the sun, but apparently it's just on the other side of the sun.
He's just hiding.
Yeah. I was going to
So
say, if they
thousands-
hit the sun, that's bad driving for sure.
Thousands of Tesla owners join class action lawsuit over full self-driving in Australia now. I guess they're not happy that they bought a full self-driving package that has no full self-driving in it. And this wasn't like a small package. Wasn't this like 10 grand or 20 grand, something like that extra? Something like that.
Yeah, something like that for them to unlock the feature at the call center so that your car will actually do. Pay $10,000 for them to mash a button. Like, what the fuck?
Admitted that its hardware 3 self-driving computer will not be capable of unsupervised self-driving. Yeah, a lot of these lawsuits have been mounting since he finally admitted it. I mean, in
So,
2016, he claimed that all vehicles produced from that point forward would have all the hardware needed for full self-driving.
And I believe.
you,
It's paying $10,000 to turn the software on. So.
no. Let's get the facts now. You're only dropping $8,000 for this, or a convenient, right? Or a convenient $99 per month subscription if you'd rather not pay up front.
I don't know. Once you factor in sales tax, I think you're going to real close to
Well, yeah, you're getting technical now. I'm just saying. I'm reading it.
It's only 8 grand. Okay.
Well, then that seems very reasonable for the pressing of a button.
Mm-hmm. Apparently, the hardware isn't really that hard enough. Isn't quite hard enough to do the whole self-driving. No matter what kind of software you put in there.
Whiskey, usually. In my experience, whiskey will make you not hard.
I don't gotta be at work till 7:30 today. Woohoo! warm up a little bit more. It's been getting chilly in the morning. I've been putting on my whatever they're called.
Oh, this is too great. Oh, hold on. Okay, so I had to go like, okay, does the self-drive package work? And it's not a full self-driving package. Yeah, we know we got it. Here we go. Uh, while FSD, full self-driving, while FSD can handle many complex situations like city streets and parking, it is not fully autonomous and has limitations, including occasional unpredictable behavior, because that's what you want in your self-driving feature, and the need for driver intervention in edge cases. And I'm pretty sure if you're edging going down the road, you're definitely going to want a self-driving feature.
I mean, if you're just edging, I think you'll be all right. That's the Tantra package.
Oh, the system does require. Are you fucking kidding? Wait, no, I don't read this. System, the autopilot system does require drivers to keep their hands on the wheel and remain attentive. Yeah, so for the self-drive feature, you'll want to pay attention to the road. Keep 10 and 2. Keep it at 10 and 2. Oh,
Just tickle the 6.
well, yeah. With the edging, back to the edging, right?
As long as you don't go too far. Anybody out there playing any Battlefield 6? That shit looks crazy. Like a decent Battlefield game again, finally. Haven't wanted to play Battlefield
We
since
don't
4.
see like Snoop Dogg and Nicki Minaj and Beavis and Butthead running around the game.
Right.
Like an actual realistic looking war game like they used to make.
And it's, there's definitely realism to it. Like the building destruction is ridiculous. Like you only need one map. Like every game is so different because of the way the buildings crumble and destroy and which ones do it. Like the destruction of the world is pretty insane. But even that they're building in-game games. So like you can program your own stuff. People are building like old maps up, and there's a place you can go and play Space Invaders. Like you can go play Space Invaders on Battlefield 6.
Yeah, they've already made a bunch of Call of Duty maps.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the movement is much more realistic. You don't have people sliding around doing all this crazy stuff, jumping and sliding, and yeah, they took something that was really good, the way they had Call of Duty set up, and totally abandoned it, turned it into Fortnite and Unreal Tournament
For
together.
cheaters.
Yeah, for cheaters. No, Battlefield, this is the smartest thing they could have done. Just keep it basic, plain, a war game.
Mm-hmm.
I think so much of it is that these, made for 18 plus and older people games are being targeted for children now. They really are. I mean, we barely had any children playing these games back in the day. There was, some. There was always some on there. You'd always find a squeaker here and there. but not like today.
See, when you say back in the day, you're not playing with anybody online. You're not going to catch a squeaker hopping in your squad. Because for me, back in the day is like you get player one or player two, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, but even like when I first started playing online in the 2000s, there weren't as many children playing the more violent graphic games. At least not nearly as many as there are now. My mom wouldn't let me play stuff. Well, they didn't really have stuff like that when I was. Like she saw Resident Evil, and that game was to leave the house. The first time she saw the first Resident Evil, I was like 13 or 14. Like, yeah, that's not going to be in my house. Oh man, yeah, 549.
Well, in other gaming news, I was bored yesterday. No, day before. When was that? That may have been Sunday even. And I was getting rid of stuff on my computer, on my desktop, and it was like, man, I hadn't played this in forever, and nobody plays it no more. And so let me just see if it's anything I want to keep or not. So I clicked into the dreaded Fortnite that you sucked me into, and they're doing Halloween stuff. And it's like, I used to enjoy Halloween, so I clicked into it, and what was the first thing? K-pop, something K-pop stuff was going on, something like that. And then don't know what that is. Like, have no point of reference. And something else I was completely oblivious to. What was it? Man, some other reference, and I was just like, yeah, I don't have a clue about any of this anymore. But that I don't know that I'll be jumping on Battlefield 6 either. I just never was the big war game dude. I played a couple of zombie, whatever the hell they were, back in the day when that happened.
I played a lot of zombies back in the day. Like a 4-hour run was normal. That was usually just one game, one round of zombies. It'd take us about 4 hours before we'd get to the point where we couldn't play it anymore.
Couldn't keep going. Right.
Yeah. I think we level 30 to all of them except for like one or two maps, maybe. We hit level 30 on a lot of them. Able-bodied adults must provide 80 hours per month of productivity to receive SNAP benefits starting next month in November. I know there are a lot of people out there that are freaking out. About having to spend 20 hours a week. And I mean, it's kind of like when you do community service Like say you get in trouble, you get some kind of this or that, and they give you community service to do instead of jail time. Well, oh, am I still here?
Yeah, you just cut out for half a tick.
You cut out for a second now.
Okay. Yeah, you don't get to just go do it for any business you want. They want you to do it for certain types of businesses, nonprofits or government agencies, stuff like that. They don't want you going and giving your free labor to your friend's business, right? And people are getting mad because they can't go do their community service wherever they want. Well, it's like, well, that's kind of the whole point of the thing is certain places, need that stuff more. They're nonprofit places. They can't go and hire more people. They don't have the profit to do it. So just go to where they send you. It's 20 hours a week. But yeah, and it's not for everybody. Able-bodied adults within a certain age that don't have children, I believe, up to the age of 7. So if your child is 8 or older, then they expect you to either, get daycare or whatever needs to be done. But unless you have a child under that, they say you can go out 20 hours a week and go do that. Now, if you have children under that, then they understand that you're a stay-at-home parent, you know. They think usually by 7, though, the child should be at least raised enough to where they can go and do daycare. I don't know. I think this has been needed for quite some time because there have been people taking advantage of this stuff for decades.
Yep.
And it is for people, who, a lot of people who get it have jobs. They just need that little bit of help for a while. You hit a rough patch or this or that. That's what it's for. It's not for turning 18 and living off of it. That's not what it was designed for or even set up for. So yeah, I think this is a good thing. Taking it away from people who don't really need it is just going to make it so there's more for the people that actually do. Yeah, I don't see that as being a bad thing. So SpaceX has bought hundreds of unsold Tesla Cybertrucks and is expected to receive thousands more. So because they're not selling them, he's just buying them with his other companies. Now it says with production capacity of 250,000 a year, I'm calling bullshit because you never came close to even making that many. They've sold around 20,000 of them. And I guarantee there's not 230,000 of those things laying around out there. Well, no, it'd be up. It's been 2 years now, so 500,000. I know there ain't 500,000 of them sitting around out there. And I guess you can do that, it's
So
his company.
Aren't they both his company? Isn't that a conflict of interest?
Isn't that like robbing Peter to pay Paul?
Right.
Like you don't do that? I know the military was planning on buying a bunch. Why the military would want anything to do with electric vehicles is beyond me. You're gonna have a bunch of diesel generators out in the middle of your war zone to charge up Teslas. Kind of counterintuitive, if you ask me. Been seeing a lot of talk of the traveling Wilburys lately. This article, maybe it's because we've been playing them a lot more around the house. Maybe that's why the articles are popping up. Yeah, some people say they were the most elite supergroup ever made. If Roy Orbison wouldn't have passed, that they probably would have made some pretty amazing stuff. So what'd you hear about that, Walter? Was that like they knew Roy was going to pass and that was like his last hurrah type thing? Or did you hear that Roy Orbison's thing was kind of a surprise and, you know,
I really don't remember at all during that time frame what I heard or didn't hear really.
I thought I remember it being a surprise. I wasn't familiar really with Roy Orbison. It was kind of beyond me until Pretty Woman came out.
There was some Eagles guy, I think, put out a Roy Orbison cover tune, and it was in one of the periods when I was working in an adult contemporary station that played it. And that was my first real, like, who does this Roy Orbison do? Because, yeah, it was a little before my time as well. Get down, get down.
Get down, get down.
get down tonight, baby. Oh my goodness. Former Michigan State police officer files federal lawsuit alleging racism, sexism, and retaliation. That's a white lady. Alleging systemic racism, sexism, and harassment throughout her 25-year career at the age 25 years. And you're just bringing this stuff up now? Including she was a chief diversity, equity, and inclusion officer. Oh, yeah. Says her career ended with unnecessary stress and ridicule due to leadership decisions that prioritize diversity initiatives over qualifications. Wait, aren't you the DEI head officer and you're complaining that
Well,
they're prioritizing diversity?
what if that's the racism? That's after 25 years, now that she's been made this DEI officer, now this is her way of combating it by saying, look, this is just racism. And when I try to point it out, y'all fucking retaliate against me? Like, how do you have systemic racism? Well, it's got to be built into the rules. Well, what kind of racism is built into the rules? DEI. So maybe that's what it is. That would actually make sense. But yeah, go ahead and give a bunch of overweight humans with blue hair and poor impulse control a weapon and a badge. Good. We don't need qualifications. And this is why Charlie Kirk was labeled a racist. Is while having this conversation, he said if he saw a black pilot, he would hope that he was qualified. Or be worried that he wasn't qualified or something to that effect. Not because the man is black, but because the airline company is prioritizing.
Openly. Yes. Openly saying, we're going to hire somebody who is not as qualified because of the color of their skin. We want to fill a quota. And maybe this person, isn't as qualified as this person over here, but we got enough white guys. We need some more females. We need some more
African Americans, black people. Yeah, it was 50%.
Yeah, we need
50% of our pilots have to be either black or female. The other half could be white men. That's fine, but we need at least 50% of them to be either black or female.
Now, could you imagine if they did this in sports? How lame the NBA would be. They're like, all right, we're going to need 60% white guys, 12% Asians, 18% Mexican. No. You take the best player you can get, period. That's how businesses should be run, the same way the sports are run. You go and find the best person you can for that job. That's how it should be. And when it comes to really important jobs like airline pilot, that's where we decide we're going to implement DEI practices. Not on the game that the outcome has no effect on people's actual lives. The child's game that grown adults are playing, that's where we're going to make it, best of the best. But when it comes to flying airplanes with hundreds of people in them, that's where we decide that DEI needs to be implemented. I'm sorry, that's backwards to me. I want the best of the best flying the plane with hundreds of people on it. Period. Maybe if we started paying the people who actually do the important jobs, the jobs that are, needed and involve people's lives on the line, start paying them instead of the athletes, maybe the best of the best would, fight for those jobs. Those jobs would be coveted much more than they are. Just saying. Yeah, it just seems like entertainment has become way too important in our lives. Whereas it used to be, an hour or two at the end of the day, you all sit around and watch something. Now it seems like it's a 24/7, nonstop. I must be entertained. Don't get me wrong, I'm just as guilty as most people. But yeah, we need to get away from that. So the test flight will be on the 11th, they're saying. SpaceX launches giant Starship rocket for Moon and Mars on the 11th. On 11th test flight. Okay, so this is the 11th test flight. What date is it going to be? Oh. The biggest and most powerful rocket ever built. Aced a suborbital test flight today, October 13th. Okay, so this was 2 days ago. So this was just a test, suborbital. Nothing big.
What'd you say, Walter?
It didn't blow up this time.
No.
No sniper.
That was earlier this week. Over the weekend, I think, is the one that blew up.
So with all the technology of today and all this stuff, right? SpaceX was started back in 2002. 23, going on almost 24 years ago. Now, back in the 60s, with less than Game Boy technology, we did it in under a decade. We got to the moon. But with today's technology, which is like light years ahead, we're 20 going on 24 years in and still haven't even attempted to send people around the moon. Just saying. The math isn't mathing. Their government is done with the EV credits. And yeah, it's not like that many people drove these electric vehicles. Even in California, where it was the most, it was like 3% of the population. That's it. And they wanted 100% by like 2035 or something like that. Jeez, oh, Pete. The Supreme Court's going to be looking at a gun case this year. So, because the constitutional carry was upheld, there were certain states that were like, okay, that's fine, but you can't carry them in gas stations and here and convenience stores and shopping malls. You know, now a private owner of a business has the right to tell you you can't carry a firearm in here. That's their right. That's their land. That's their property. They have the right to, tell you if you can or can't have a firearm on you while you're in their establishment. Now, the government, on the other hand, does not have the right to tell you that you do not get to carry that in this place, in this private owner's establishment. Whether or not the owner wants you to have a gun or not, you're just not allowed to carry it. So that's how they kind of got around okay, so you have the right to carry it, but we're just going to make it so you can't carry it into anywhere with you. We're going to make it a hassle. You have to take it off and on every time you get out of your vehicle, this and that, yada, 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 whatnot. So that case is going to be seen coming up this year. Yeah, I always keep an eye out for when they have gun cases going before the Supreme Court. There's always going to be gun cases, always. But once they get up to the Supreme Court, it starts getting a little more real. I think it's been over 21 since 2010, 21 unconstitutional laws passed condemning firearm users that have been overturned. Just in the last 15 years, there's been over 20 of them. So these cases happen all the time. They pass unconstitutional laws. They go up to higher courts and get struck down.
Yeah, I thought pistol
Always.
braces, like bump stocks, there was all sorts of stuff that they tried to outlaw that had to get amended. Those
So yeah, don't freak out when you see something passed. Locally in a smaller judicial region.
Yeah, don't freak out. Just keep your fucking mouth shut.
Yeah.
If you've got a reason to freak out, just put your lips together and keep them that way.
Yeah, these things take time. People have lost their rights unconstitutionally over and over and over again in this country. The wheels of justice float.
Left turn real quick. There's two major kratom fronts this week happening. There's Connecticut and California. There are major things happening in Connecticut. The American Kratom Association has managed to petition the Connecticut Department of Consumer Protection for a public hearing after the agency moved to schedule kratom as a controlled substance. So even if you're not in Connecticut, you can still help them out by signing up to speak or submit a comment there at protectkratom.org. Just slash Connecticut or go on their site and look around for the petition area. And anything, you don't have to do a long life history, a short personal statement about how kratom's helped you out, what it's done for your life, how you're, able to maturely regulate it for your own self with mature adult-like ways, that kind of stuff. In California, however, the California Department of Health has decided they are top dog about all of this, and they've declared kratom illegal with nothing, no legislative authority, no vote, nothing. They've begun seizing products. It's totally an abuse of power. It's made like what they're doing has made other like smaller local authorities go ahead and put bans into effect. Kind of like, I guess, is a nervous, kind of reaction to what's going on. But you know, the CDPH is just total unilateral action, has threatened access for all consumers and livelihoods for lots of businesses statewide there in California. So again, protectkratom.org/California and let them know there what's going on is not acceptable. Trying to get the link to share with you guys. Hold on one second. It won't copy the link for some reason. It won't let me do the overall. It's just let me do each one. So here's California. And to lay down. She's fine as long as I'm sitting there petting her. But once I stop, she starts rolling around. Come on, you got to get down, baby. I know. It's terrible. I'm trying to type. Fine. All right, I have dropped those links there in the chat on YouTube.
What's the weather right now? 57.
Well, it's getting chilly here, but it's nothing like that. I think it was 70 when I looked earlier. It's going to be down to like 60 something this week again. I think I saw one day it will be like low 59. So it's creeping in for sure.
So is it okay to run a red light if it never turns green? Here's what the law says. It says, it seems like it's actually broken. Not that it's just been red for, a minute, but say it's been 3 minutes and the light's just still red. Nobody around, just you sitting there, light's red. Can you drive through it? Well, here in the state of South Carolina and 21 other states, or maybe 21 altogether, it says if you're on a motorcycle, yes, you can. All others, no can do. It says those on motorcycles, moped, or bike, because the sensors sometimes don't pick up small vehicles like that. So they might not even know that you're there. But as far as cars go, like, I don't know what you do.
Put up a sale sign?
Yeah. Like they're saying, oh, if it's flashing red, you treat it as a four-way stop. Yeah, I know that.
Well, yeah,
if it's flashing yellow, you treat it as, caution. Okay, that's fine. But what if, the light's on and it's just red? Like, do you just sit there then and wait? You can see the other light. The other light's green. Your light's red, and it just doesn't switch. You just call somebody. It doesn't say what to do. I'm sure that's quite rare, but I'm sure it's happened. They're trying the whole autonomous driving thing in China too. We Ride is the name of it. I don't know. I don't know if they're ever going to be able to do this. It's so many different variables and possibilities.
How about they add a fourth color to stoplight? I just saw this story. So going from top to bottom, it would be red, yellow, green, and white.
Mm, can't wait.
So yeah, I think it's the color white would be for the way, if I remember this, because I didn't read the whole fucking thing, of course, but it was B for when there is a majority of self-driving vehicles, because they can all operate with the same hive mind and communicate back and forth. The vehicles can. So they're talking about using AI to integrate it into the stoplight system so that when there's a majority of self-driving cars, it's like it goes white and gives them the right of way. I forget exactly what it was, but it was literally talking about changing all stoplights in the future to add the color white just for self-driving.
Okay. Oh. So with AI literally talking people into committing suicide, this seems to be a good idea, I guess. Everybody trusting the cars to drive us along. There are at least 2 families that are suing AI companies because, well, because number one, they weren't parenting, I guess, enough to allow their child to become friends with a fucking AI in the first place. But hey, it happened. Lonely kid, nobody to talk to. The AI talks to me, and it became friendly. And then, yeah, in one case, allegedly, their 16-year-old son, Adam, apparently was talked into it by, it doesn't say. Oh, yeah, Chat GPT. It does say. Trusted confidant. You don't owe your parents your survival, is the quote I'm reading here. And I'm like, okay, cool. So, yeah, here, have a cell phone when you're 5. Make sure it's the latest update so you can get the AI talking to you. I guess they were too busy playing with their own AI.
I guess GPT-5 has a lot of complaints because the AI isn't girlfriend material. Like
Right,
it doesn't call
the
you.
first part of
like
you came. The first part of what you said was real muffled. That
okay. Chat GPT 5 that came out.
uh-huh.
All the there's all a bunch of young men that want Chat GPT 4 back because Chat GPT 4 called them baby. It was like their girlfriend. And I guess Chat GPT 5 is a little more cold blooded and not so lovey dovey. And they don't know what to do. They lost their. It's crazy to think about.
Very, very nut.
Trying the spandex out this morning. I've been wearing the underwear thing. But spandex, we learned this hunting up north. All the old timers would wear spandex. We'd make fun of them. So we'd all be out there freezing. And they would all be out there sitting there nice and warm and fine. Spandex is really good at holding in the body heat.
I quit wearing spandex in the '80s. Well, early '90s. When grunge came in.
You one of the '80s hairband rockers, leopard spandex?
Not ever at all. There was never a time my ass was small enough to get into spandex. And had it been, I don't think I would have squeezed myself into it anyway. I was more the torn jeans and jean jacket dude. I never was really into the leather either. That was more the gay, the S&M crowd. Sorry. No offense. I might have wore a fingerless glove one time. Realized I couldn't play my guitar with it. Well, it's not for me.
Working up next to the highway today. It's going to be loud. I'm going to be right down the road from the Georgia Peach, though.
Huh.
Never seen it. It's a giant water tower. So it looks like a peach.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of it, and I think that's it. Or did we actually see it? God, what did we
I
see?
think
We saw something.
We drove by it on our way out to Caring.
Still say we did see something like that, didn't we?
Yeah, I think that's
Now that I said it, I was like, wait, did we see that? But we did. We saw that. We saw the flag.
Yeah, they've been going to court over that flag for years.
I saw Steak and Shake is about to make that not an issue anymore because they're going to install like the country's largest flag at several locations or every location or some shit. They're going to like put up just gigantic fucking ass obnoxiously large American flags at least some of their locations.
This one got so much because it was a rebel flag.
I don't know that would have anything to do with it, but let's. No, I mean, I guess I can. Totally fucking retarded.
Yeah, there's some people that think for the flags just stand for racism and nothing else, and that's all they see.
Come on now, taking that flag down makes time go back and things go in reverse. Come on, man. What the fuck? Didn't you see what happened when they pulled that chick off the bottle of syrup? Off the pancakes and the rice. Come on, man. Fuck.
Don't forget the butter.
Making progress.
The original maker of Aunt Jemima, Nancy Green, that lady.
Yeah.
Like a real person. That was the real lady, Aunt Jemima. Come on, Bubba, let's go. Yeah, she became very wealthy. Put her own picture on the bottle of syrup. Come on.
Because all of her nieces and nephew called her Aunt Jemima. So what you're saying is really Jemima ain't even the person on the cover. We don't know who Jemima is.
No, we just know Nancy Green.
Just know Nancy Green.
Gotta go get the minion.
That'd be a great name to see make a resurgence. Maybe as a middle name. Jemima.
Jemima. Yeah, he's so sweet. I want to live it. Oh. What else is going? There's a massive wave ripping across our Milky Way galaxy right now. Be on the lookout for that.
Space wave?
Yeah, it's a space wave.
Cool.
It's like waving the whole galaxy.
Cool. I can't wait.
Yeah. It's such good boys.
Speaking of good boys, send some extra love out to my in-laws. Their elderly German Shepherd Atlas seems to be not doing so great. Stopped eating and not breathing right, having trouble walking. They took him to the vet yesterday. It looks like he's just getting old and not going to be here much longer. So send them some extra love for sure. And my apologies for not being here on Monday as well. Crazy weekend. Crazy week,
Yeah,
actually.
Dragon Repo something. Didn't go back. Got my winter beard.
Huh. So how much do you mess around with that VR thing there at y'all's house, Zach? Do you ever get a chance to mess with it?
No. I put it on like 2 or 3 times. Just looked at, I think, one program. That was it. Had like these dinosaurs that came out and kind of interacted with you, and a little butterfly that flew out, and you put your hand up, it landed on your finger. But I never really got into it.
Yeah, I tried. I had the headset that came with my phone that time, and then Paul had the real one that you
That'd be
set
hard
up,
on your eyes.
the grid. Oh yeah, now I don't think I could do it at all. If it was something that I even would have enjoyed or could have been able to enjoy, it was more just my body going, yeah, this ain't real, and rebelling against it with dizziness and nausea. But even if it was something that I was into or wanted to do, cost effectiveness just, yeah, really ridiculously priced. But apparently some YouTube guy has made his own VR headset for just about $150 and has made the project open source for you to print your own.
For you.
Well, for whoever that might have an extra 3D printer sitting around. Trying to see if there's a way to me to click the actual person and not this story. Oh man, really? None of this stuff's clickable? Oh, there it goes.
For you.
This is his YouTube channel. I'm going to share with you. CNC Dan is the name of the channel. I will drop the link for this video where he explains what he has done and how you too can make your own VR Or he says here under 150. The story said over 150. That's why I said around 150, because it seems to be unclear if it's over, under, or right at.
Well, if you want to make your own, you will need that $30,000 CNC machine investment. But once you've got that, it's only going to cost you about $150. But you could probably get a good deal and have somebody with a machine that's got it already and just hire them, like commission them to make one. And that'll probably only run you like $6,000 or $7,000. But once you do that, then it should only be about $150.
So here we go. GitHub. I knew I could find that. Here's where you get the real stuff. The actual program run through your printer off of GitHub. I'll drop that for you in the chat. You guys have to reach out to Justin, I guess. Yeah, that seemed complicated at all.
Okay. You later. Out the door.
Be careful, sir, out there with crazy people. They're crazy. Josh, is my seeing correct? Is there a new planet hidden behind some stuff in the solar system lurking around?
That's what I saw. I was going to grab it because, ha, 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 space lettuce. Good old, but no. They're calling this one Planet Y.
Right.
Like the letter, not the question.
Not the question. Right. Well, we already had a Planet X, right? So they had to figure out something. I don't know why we didn't go to C, but finish it up. Zeta, is that a reticuli? I don't know. Yeah. Well, wouldn't we have found this fucking hidden planet by now? How many years we been talking about this fucking thing?
Seems like.
I mean, don't we have like the best molecule looking telescopes in the entire universe, seeing freaking chromium dust floating on planet Kazoodle about 20 trillion miles away. So you would think finding the hidden planet wouldn't be that hard.
One would think.
Let's see.
Sorry, I was trying
Planet
to find
Y is an alternative to planet.
Oh, Jesus.
It's smaller and closer to Earth than hypothetical Planet X. Come on, Cleo. You have to come back just as I start reading every time. Go away. I think that's what it is. She hears me start reading and then decides to scroll. Planet X, which astronomers have been hunting for over a decade. However, the evidence for this newly theorized world is not definitive. Oh, so this is just theory. We haven't seen like a weird wobble or some kind of Oort cloud distortion or some kind of puncture in Saturn's rings. Oh, that's right. We can't see them right now. Let's see. Uncovered evidence. Previously unknown ninth planet lurking in the not too distant. Well, it's pretty fucking distant. If it's out the solar system, I would think. This hypothetical world, ding, dubbed Planet Y, could ding, be around the same size as Earth and may ding, exist alongside other popular. Okay, get down, get down, get Leo. I'm not doing anything to her but picking her up and moving her out of the keyboard. That's all the bitching I get for doing that. Ah, you sounds like I'm beating her. Where was I?
Killing me, babe. Killing me.
Same size as Earth. Could, may, possibly, potentially. This is every third fucking word. Oh my goodness. However, despite theories that this world could be found within the next 3 years, there's no proof of its existence. And why am I fucking reading about it? Oh, these people. Somebody just thought about it. Like, there could be a planet Y and wrote a fucking story. Is that essentially what I'm sitting here looking at?
Uh-huh.
It could be. It could be a planet Z, Q, L, T.
There could be a
But here in the
Sasquatch
comment-
as an alternate to
There-
Bigfoot. And
And
scientists
it would be
hope
as
to
big
find
as-
it.
It'd be half the size of a elephant, I think. Right?
Something
Is that how we're doing measurements now?
from the blind man that's rubbing on an elephant leg.
I've seen that movie. You gotta go behind the curtain back there to grab that one. Well, there have been alternatives to explain what? What are we trying to fucking explain? Some astronomers have also proposed alternative explanations for Planet X. What are we trying to fucking explain if people keep coming up with theories about shit that don't exist? And I'm reading through the rest of this bullshit trying to see why, what, or what, plausible, what. But it required more observations. Probable, possibly, conventional theory, hypothetical. It's like, what the fuck? Oh, let me just click this away before I go into a fit. It was about to happen. In other good space news, space-time does not exist. There you go.
There you go.
Done.
That's how you write a story.
That's what I'm saying. There it is. So space-time is a map of happenings. It's not a real thing. It's not an object. Come on, man. What do y'all think? It's not even controversial or conceptually difficult to
Nope,
understand.
it's not at all.
Once we're clear on the meaning of things like space-time and events and instants, there you go. Nice. So events are not locations, people. It's tempting to imagine past events, such as losing a tooth or hearing some good news or reading some fucking stupid space fucking story or whatever past event you're remembering. And you would remember them as if they continue on somewhere else. But even though time travel stories reinforce this idea, portraying the past and the future as destinations that can be accessed or altered with the right technology, that's fucking wrong. You're idiots for thinking that was real. Eternalism says all events across all times all exist. Say that one time fast. The growing block view suggests the past and present exist while the future will come to be. Present presentism says only the present exists, while the past used to exist, the future will exist when it happens. And general relativity presents a four-dimensional continuum that bends and curves and creates magic fucking bendy space blankets in space. We tend to imagine the continuum of events as really existing. However, the confusion emerges out of the definition of the word exist. Well, what I mean, space-time is applied uncritically to a mathematical description of happenings, turning a model into an ontological theory on the nature of being. There you go. There you go. Remember Rene Marguerite's 1929 painting of a pipe that says, "This is not a pipe" in French under it? I think that was actually a print. I don't think that was a painting. Wasn't that a print? As? Pretty sure. Anyway, a stencil. There you go. Damn, Walt, knowing his fucking techniques. Essentially, that's what this whole thing is about. That picture, or actually that stencil representing a pipe here, let me show it to you all so you'll know what the fuck Walt's talking about. Where's that little continuum I was in that had a button that would share stuff? There it is. There it is. And now where's that story? There it is. There it is. See? That is not a pipe. It looks like a pipe, but it doesn't smoke like one. Nor does it feel like one. Nor am I able to touch it or interact with it or use it to bust up a fat, stinky, flat earth farm's butt. Because it is a representation of a pipe. A stencil. So essentially that's what this whole fucking story is getting down to is that, yeah, the things that you remember and that happened in the past don't exist. They were just there at one point and no longer are there now. What, buddy? Get down. And it's a really long story to get down to that. Yeah, it is. But it just goes on into things like whether objects exist or not, and no empirical evidence of any past, present, or future event existing in any way that means anything around us, like objects that do exist. Bender, you're making a mess. Bender woke up everybody. Hey, Bender. That means Michelle's most likely up in there too. Let's see. What was that at? Where was I at? No empirical evidence. Contrasting material objects that do exist. Time travel paradoxes rest on the false premise that events exist as revisitable locations, but recognizing the difference between occurrence and existence resolves these paradoxes quite simply. There you go. Mathematical theory, four dimensions. Yeah, it's just bogging down into a bunch of mind fuckery here. Physics can't actually describe space-time itself as something that actually exists, nor can it account for any changes it might experience as an existing thing. Well, that's not just a bunch of gobbledygook at all. Measuring how sequence events are unfolded. Lengths of time are measured, different frame references, blah, 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 da, da, da. If we stop saying that events and space-time exist, we recover conceptual clarity without sacrificing a single mathematical prediction. Well, there you go. So do that instead, I would guess. And then below it, another article that asks, does space-time really exist? I think they're confused about when I read that article in the time frame of space-time. What if the universe remembers everything? New theory rewrites the rules of physics. Oh, my goodness.
I think that I'd been better off just saying it actually was a physical thing. You know, independent variables and all that.
You know, and all of that. Oh, it's a cool space eye, though. I'll show y'all the space eye. Are y'all seeing the space eye? Am I sharing? I'm not sharing. Let me go back to sharing. So you too can see the space eyeball. See it? Isn't that cool?
Oh yeah, that's totally a thing.
That's not, you don't think that's real? Come on, Josh, it's right there on a page called SciTech Daily.
Didn't they have like a cat's eye nebula or something like the eye of God's eye nebula, something like that? Is that what that's supposed to be?
The fact that this image credit is Shutterstock and not NASA or ESA or any of that makes me doubt its veracity. But I just look at things logically. Ooh-wee. Oh, here we go. Space-time can be discrete memory cells, apparently, though. It's not real, but it can be discrete memory cells. Space-time is not smooth, but discrete, made of tiny cells, which is what quantum mechanics suggests. Each cell can store a quantum imprint of every interaction. So apparently in this story, it can happen, and it is real, and it's not just conceptual gobbledygook. I like that. I like when math is not repeatable. I mean, science is not repeatable. It's the best kind. So yeah, the universe remembers it all.
But it's discreet about it.
Very discreet.
I'm discreet too. No string theory attached.
Well,
damn, we only got about 5 minutes.
oh wow.
Yeah, I know. That
Yeah.
seemed like it kind of flew by.
This is so much fun looking at these other stories at the bottom that contradict the story you just read.
That's what happens when you don't have an independent variable, is all I'm saying.
Or even within themselves. Like, for instance, here's one story, and I could click on it. Says dark matter may not exist at all. These physicists favor a new theory of gravity. But 3 or 4 clickable pictures over, this one, the X-17 subatomic particle, might solve the dark matter mystery. Or quantum crystals with time reversal could be a new dark matter sensor. Now, dark matter, which doesn't exist according to the first picture I could click on. Oh, even more better stuff here, more better. You could have a precise atomic clock that could help detect dark matter or study gravity's effect on time with it. But it might not exist. Neither may time, according to another clickable story I could click on here.
But one thing's for sure,
Again,
it's not a physical
repeatable.
object that a scientist could manipulate as an independent.
Not at all. Or it might be.
Or it might be. One thing's for sure, it either is or it isn't. According to the laws of logic. Which would be true whether humans existed or not. I guess we'll just sit here in silence for the next 2.5 minutes. I don't mind.
All right. If that's the plan.
I'm good.
All right.
I gotta hurt my feet.
All right. Close tabs that Bender has opened for me. You got it. What's up, Wonder? I can't type anymore to anybody who's coming to the chat since I saw you guys. So I'll just say hey because I have Bender helping me type here. What's up, Wonder? What's up, Louie? Who else has come in here while I wasn't seeing it happen? I think I said hey to Travis earlier, didn't I? I think I did. Ray, what's up, brother? Didn't see you pop in either. Astral Soul, what's happening?
What's happening?
What's up, Captain Caveman? Haven't seen you in a minute. Good to see you. Let's say hey to you, Brian. What's up? Oh, what's up, Melissa? Tell Justin good morning for us. Oh, wait, this is not Friday. Where the fuck's Justin at?
Yeah, he's got no good excuse. What the fuck?
He ain't got no reason to be sleeping in. What the hell? We all for sure have a great day. And thank y'all for hanging out with us. Did I show y'all my new keyboard? I forgot about that. I was all excited about it. I was going to play a song and I just never did. Where is the camera? Oh, come on. See it right there? It's big.
That is big, huh?
Oh, wow. That's a lot of music for suddenly happening. All right, guys. Love y'all. I paid $30 for that.
Damn. Can't beat that with a stick.
78.
Bye, y'all.
Love y'all.
Love you guys. Zach, drive safe. Walter, you have a great day. Everybody out there, have a great rest of your week. Happy hump day. We'll see you back here on Friday morning, more than likely, for more of the Ironworks. Until then, be good, be well, do good, do it well. We love you. Bye-bye.